Greetings everybody, TheMechanist here, and in today's 2XKO discussion, we are talking about characters. Now specifically, we're talking about core characters, and by that I mean my take on who I believe is going to be in the base of 2XKO, or at least most likely will be in the base of the game, due to relevancy, gameplay, or etc. That being said, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please consider hitting the like button and impacting the subscribe button. It'll help out in the long run. With all that out of the way, let's get on to the discussion. So, by base core characters, or whatever you want to call them, we're talking about characters who are going to be, in release or close to release. For instance, we have Yasuo, Alawi, Ari, etc. already in the game. These are characters I'm predicting that are going to come out alongside them. Not based off of leaks or rumors or anything like that, just my own personal take as a machine who plays fighting games and who plays League of Legends. So, I'll be approaching this from lore, plus tag potential, plus gameplay potential, and stuff like that. So, first up on the list, I want to talk about Vi, right here. You see, Vi is, I'm almost 100% sure, I can't be 100% sure, it's out of my hands, is going to be in the base game. Reasoning? Basically Arcane. Arcane was really popular, and the main characters of that were Vi, and Jinx, and Echo. And guess who's in the game? Jinx and Echo. Plus, given how Vi plays, being kind of like a boxer, two-hit, charging, I think it'd be a great character for the fighting game. And plus, it would, quote-unquote, wrap up the Arcane triangle. By that, I mean characters who are in Arcane, from Arcane, most people know because of Arcane. It makes sense, helps sell the game, plus I think Vi would just be a very solid character to have. And in addition to that, I want to talk about the Ruined King, which I think was fairly successful, and the characters from that were Yasuo, Ari, Alawi, notice how those three are already in the game, as well as Braum and Misfortune and Pike. So, as well as Viego, I guess. Gotta include them, right? Now, I have not played the Ruined King yet, but I am aware of what it basically is. But in terms of characters, we have Alawi, Ari, and Yasuo already. But I feel like there is potential for two more here from what I've just mentioned. That being Pike, who is fairly popular, plus, honestly, he's just really cool. Right here, by the way, this is Pike. And Viego, right here. The reason why is because I feel like these two would be great additions to the game. Pike being a assassin, dashing type character, which kind of is what I said with Vi, but you know what, they have a lot of room because of his watery ability and his harpoon knife. So he's gonna, Pike's gonna have some unique gameplay. On the other hand, you have Viego. Attack speed, shadow mist, I guess technically a great sword user, who honestly just looks cool, and I feel like his visuals would be amazing, especially if you make the mist part of his gameplay. I believe in League, all he is about attack speed, hiding in the mist, and then stealing bodies. So is he gonna steal bodies in the 2XKO game? Probably not, but I think visually he could be really cool. And once again, wrapping up the angle of, hey, these characters are really popular because of these games that aren't League of Legends that people probably actually have played, and shows we have watched. So with that out of the way, let's talk about core characters who I just believe should be in the game or will be. First up, obviously, no-brainer right here, Garen, right here. Why? Well, simple. Darius is in the game. Darius and Garen have a rivalry, Demacia and Noxus. Both wear heavy armor, one's a sword, but one's a shield, or an axe, not a shield, sorry. And they're both kind of originally were the faces of League of Legends. You had Garen, dressed in white, good guy. Yeah, Darius has an axe, wears heavy armor, evil for Noxus, they're kind of the face. So to not have them in the game, I just don't think it would work. And on top of that, we already know, or at least at one point we saw Katarina gameplay, who was kind of the other iconic Noxian. And, that would make sense. Darius and Katarina versus Garen. By the way, all three of those are connected. And for Garen, I'm thinking Lux. Lux is pretty popular of a character. She's a mage in Demacia, which has lore implications. I'm not going to go into that. But she's also Garen's sister, and again, she's a mage. She's like a light mage or whatever, so her gameplay would be flashy. Yes, I just said that. And, that would just take care of the good versus the evil, the blah blah blah, whatever. Now, on to other characters I feel like would be core characters. First one I'm going to throw out, a little bit weird, maybe not, Udyr, right here. Now, the reason why I believe he's going to be in the base game, or should be in the base game, or close to the base game, whatever, is because when they were reworking him, they mentioned how they wanted his vibe and his feel to be kind of reminiscent of fighting games. And they're making a fighting game. Come on. If you don't put Udyr in the fighting game after mentioning his rework was based around fighting games, kind of a missed opportunity. / gonna make a few Udyr players mad. Like me. Plus, I mean, come on. His claws, his hands, changing the visual effects, he'd be fun to play. Probably complicated because he'd be a stance character, but he'd be fun. Now I'm going to go off the rails and talk a little bit, shall we say, crazy talk. Basically, for the rest of this video, I'm going to be talking about characters who I feel like should be in the game for the right / wrong reasons. For instance, we need to cover everything that is League of Legends. Now I might be saying, what does that mean? Well, we need every region represented. We need every creature represented. So next we're going to talk about everybody's either most hated or most loved creatures, the Yordles, who are essentially immortal little puffballs of fun. Even Vhagar. Yes, even Vhagar. So you might be saying, oh great, little character in a fighting game, that's going to be extremely annoying, extremely difficult, extremely don't want to deal with this, right? Which I completely understand. Probably have to do some balancing around that, but technically Yordles aren't that small. You know, maybe they'd be half the size of a regular player, so maybe most hits would still work, I don't know. But if size is an issue, there is a solution to this. Ready? Rumble. Right here. You see, Rumble is a Yordle who pilots a mech, or a quote-unquote mech. Well, because of that, he can stand at the same size, same hitbox of a regular character, while still being a Yordle. And, you know, he has a flamethrower, he has a harpoon, he has a hand for smacking, he has jets so he can still jump and move. Plus, I think you could do for visual rework, so a good way to test it out would be in a fighting game. Just saying, you want a Yordle in the game, but you don't want to deal with small hitboxes right now. Rumble would be a good solution to that. Up next, let's talk Void. Because Void is pretty iconic from League of Legends, let's be real. Now, there's a couple Void champions to choose from. You know, you have Cho'Gath, you have Kog'Maw, you have Rek'Sai, who I've mentioned before. You know, these are, you know, standard Void characters. But honestly, the one I think who's going to make it in is Bel'Veth. Why? Because she's an auto-attack champion, plus her, how would you say, visage is very iconic and unique, being a manta ray that, you know, stands upright, you know, with a bunch of spikes, and she can transform and turn into a more monstrous Void form rather than she looks like a person, or, you know, a queen with a robe to Void monster, so an install would be amazing to have. I'm just saying, I think of all the Void creatures, she has probably the best likelihood of making it in, if not Rek'Sai, because, you know, big monster beast. Alright, getting away from that now, let's talk about, well, how do I put this delicately? I'm going to talk about characters that I feel like need to be in the game at some point, at least one in the base game, to prove that, hey, we are going to go all in on this game, any character you want is going to make it in. And by that, I mean a character like Urgot or Hecarim, right here. Now, I might be saying, what are you talking about? Well, Urgot is, how we say, a very big, very grounded character who basically just shoots you with a machine gun arm and shotgun knees. Kinda hard to translate that to a fighting game, especially because he's so big and grounded. And Hecarim is a centaur. The hitbox is going to be weird, good luck trying to jump over him, good luck trying to make him jump, you know, 10 feet in the air like in the fighting games. You know, characters like that. Now, the reason I bring this up is because we need one character like this to prove that, hey, we can have these characters. Now, of course, you might have your own favorite for, like, you know, this character should be in for this reason, this character for this reason, but I just picked Urgot and Hecarim off the top of my quote-unquote head, my processor will say, because I feel like they are, you know, straightforward, like, how are you going to put this in a fighting game, and if you can make it work, cool, we can put anybody in. And I feel like 2XKO, not Project L anymore, need one character like that in the base roster that says, hey, no matter who they are, no matter how they play, we're putting them in, they're going to be fun, they're going to be balanced. And that could also go for other characters which may be a little bit more difficult, like Ezreal and Lucian. Lucian's he wields 2 pistols and dashes. Ezreal does a lot of different magical projectiles and teleports. Now, you can make Ezreal punch and kick and just have projectiles be a core part of his kit, but if you go all in on the magic gauntlet and projectiles and teleporting and Lucian with his dashes and different pistol shots, you can really bring nice variety to this game. And there is a lot of variety. Just go on to the League of Legends website and look at all the champions. You're going to see a huge variety of champions, all with completely different playstyles and gimmicks, for the most part. And that's why I can't wait for 2XKO. So let me know your thoughts down below. Next up in the discussion, we're going to talk about, shall we say, original/first for 2XKO. Sorry if that's a little bit vague, I don't know how to put it. But all that will be next time. This has been The Mechanist, logging off. Until next time.